again. It's now Saturday the 13th of January, and this week was a pretty good week. Not the best, but it certainly wasn't a bad one. And I don't really have any bad news. I had the higher interest rates for uninvested cash kick in on Trading 212. I had a couple of dividend increases, and overall for the week there was 54 dividend payments for a total of €19.06, then about 64 cents in interest and 1p in interest. So as of now, I'm earning 4.2% interest on uninvested euros and 5% on uninvested pounds. It's very nice. I think it is a great decision from Trading 212 as well. So this will encourage people to keep money with them instead of keeping it in somewhere like a bank, or I used to have it in Revolut, and I put it in here because it was paying 1.5% interest, and that has nearly tripled. So that's a good time. Very happy about that. And then there was only 3 dividend increases that I could find, either that weren't covered by any other videos or that I hadn't talked about already. And these were Gladstone Capital, which pays every month, and the yield is at 9% at the moment. So it is only a tiny increase, but it's an increase nonetheless. So the deadline for that dividend is the 22nd of January, and that will be paid out on the 31st. The second one was Gladstone Land, and the deadline date is the same. It also pays every month, and the yield is only 4%. The ticker symbol for this one is LAND. And the last one is Ellington Financial. This one also pays every month, but the current yield is 14%. So I don't see why they would be increasing the dividend, to be honest. But the deadline for that is the 30th of January, and it will be paid out on the 26th of February. They're increasing the dividend by 66%, but that might not be a permanent thing. They might just increase this one and then drop it back down. A lot of them fluctuate quite a lot, and if they're paying a yield of 14%, I can't see them maintaining a 66% increase now and then going forward. But we'll see what happens. So we'll have a look at what happened over the week. Monday the 8th of January, there was 11 dividend payments for €2.92. It started off with the 10-cent lending interest, and then all of these orders going through was when I made the video on 30 European dividend aristocrats, which is the Noble 30. So I put a total of €50 into that pie, and it was spread out evenly amongst them. Then I got the regular dividend payments. This one here, Ediston Property Investment. This is one of my UK positions that pays every month. It paid twice on Monday, which is always nice. And then the day ended with 4% interest on cash. This was before the new interest rates kicked in. Then the 9th of January was pretty quiet. Just 2 dividend payments for 98 cents. Had the 6-cent lending interest and the 5-cent interest on cash. Then Wednesday the 10th of January, there was 8 dividend payments for €4.72. Started off with the 6-cent lending interest. This is where the new interest rate kicked in. Went from 4 cents a day to 11 cents a day. And then I got 1p interest as well. And also look who's back, Walt Disney. The dividend has returned. It was shaky there for a couple of years. Didn't know if it was going to come back, but now it's back to normal. Nice big one from Altria too. Then for the 11th of January, there was 11 dividend payments. That was for a total of €4.93, starting with the 5-cent lending interest, and then ending with the 11-cent interest on cash, and a nice big one from Medical Properties Trust as well, even though they just reduced the dividend a lot. And then Friday the 12th of January, there was 22 dividend payments for a total of €5.51. Associated British Foods paid twice for some reason. Realty Income also paid its dividend. And it was the busiest day of the week, of course ending with the 11-cent interest on cash. So not the worst week overall. €19 in dividends, 64 cents in interest and 1p in interest. So now the portfolio is up to €1,044 in dividends so far. The realised profit hasn't changed. Rolls-Royce is still number 1 for performance in the portfolio. It's 262% up, but Frontline is pretty close behind, 226% up. And there's quite a gap between the second and third position. Third is Haleon, it's about 146% up. And of course, Adler Group is still down the very bottom, 92% down. It has been like this for quite a while. And I know that if a stock is less than $1 for, I think it's a month, it will be delisted. But I don't know if that applies to European or say UK stocks or different currencies and on different markets. Because this has been 50 cents for quite a while. But this is what Rolls-Royce looked like before it bounced back. Now I'm not saying that this will, I have no idea. But it would be nice if it did and I didn't lose €50. This is second from the bottom, but it's winding down. This was one of my few monthly paying UK positions, so it's a shame to lose it. This one's been delisted. I don't know, but it's pretty much dead. 32 cents a share. This one's been sanctioned. This declared bankruptcy, sanctioned. And then anything from here is not quite dead, but pretty bad. This one is 65.5% down. It's a German real estate investment trust. Horrendous profits. Yeah, pretty bad. And then the largest positions in the portfolio by euro haven't changed. Realty Income still number 1. It's now back in the green. It was a little bit shaky for a while there. And the smallest positions, there's a couple of new ones here. These two were part of the new list of the European dividend aristocrats. So when I invest half of this week's dividends, I'm actually going to start from the smallest positions, because having like €2 or €3 in a stock is kind of pointless. You might get 2 or 3 cents a year. Then the newest positions are these two new European dividend aristocrats and WH Smith. I actually thought I already had this, and then when it popped up in the news I had a look and then realised that I must have sold it years ago, because when I was starting out dividend investing for the first time I was just kind of buying anything. I would look at something that said 30% yield and buy that. Obviously learned the hard way that that's not how it works, but WH Smith was definitely there in the beginning, but now it's back. And then all of my oldest positions obviously haven't changed. The oldest one is the 2nd of February 2021, but I did start investing I think the year before that, and it was just all over the place, and I've completely nuked the portfolio more than once, but not since starting it this way. So I have €9.50 to invest for this week. Pinnacle West Capital. It doesn't look to be doing too bad, so I can put €5 into there, get it out from the bottom of the pile. And then Mid-America Apartment Communities. Looks like I'll be getting a nice discount from the last place that I got in. It's another real estate investment trust. And just scratching the surface, it doesn't seem to be doing too bad. 20% profit margin, 46% debt to assets ratio. Obviously this is no way to pick stocks, but I already have a position, so it's not whether or not I should start one, it's whether or not I should add to it. So I'll put the other €5 in there. So we're now up to 749 dividend paying positions. The extra one is PayPal. About 17,000 and a quarter euro invested, and it's still about 1% down. It's been like that for quite a while, but it's improving as time goes on. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this week, and we'll pick up where we left off next week.